Like right now, it wasn't even on. So I have to do these little last minute checks. Cause welcome, if welcome, welcome to Nurturing Conversations podcast. I am your host, Chelle, also known as Chelle. Um, Tonight's topic is betrayal blindness. Betrayal blindness. Okay, it's working. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and get my disclaimers. It's raining here, so you might hear the rain. You might hear my smoke detector too. I have to change the batteries. I don't know why I didn't think to change the battery in that one. Well, I do know why, because it wasn't making a sound. So it wasn't making a sound, so I didn't change it. So I have to change that one. Anywho, let me go ahead and get the disclaimers out of the way, and then we're going to get right into today's topic. Um, Disclaimer: I do not tolerate disrespect in any way, shape, form, or fashion that is towards me, that is towards anyone that appears on the screen or in the chat. It's 2022. You survived everything in your fucking life. Just don't come here with that. I should have said there will be cuss words before I said that, but there will be curse words. There will be tears. My opinions are my opinions. Your opinions are your opinions. I feel like we should be an adult enough. We should be grown enough to be able to come and have a conversation. This is a safe space. Again, if you have any negativity or you're coming here to be negative, you might want to swiftly move on to the next YouTube video or YouTube live. I am not a mental health professional. I am just one woman willing to share my personal experiences to let you know two things. One, you can overcome anything that life throws at you. And two, you are not alone. I know a lot of times we feel like we are alone. No one else could possibly be going through the same thing that we are going through. But trust and believe, people are. This is why I want to have a nurturing conversation, because I feel like if more people talk about how they experience things or the things that they experience and what got them on the other side of that, more people would be more inclined to get help, to take advantage of resources, all of those things. Um, let's see, am I forgetting anything? No, that's about it. Just be respectful. Just be respectful. Tonight we're talking about betrayal blindness. I thought about this topic. Um, I thought about my own experience in therapy, and then I thought about just situations that happen around me, and sometimes we really do um, apply a certain level of blindness when it comes to people who are close to us. People who are close to us. Um, I I was thinking in the form of like parents or siblings or family, but then you start to think about all of the different ways that you can experience betrayal blindness, like teachers or employers or pastors or just anybody pretty much, and you turn a blind eye. But I have many of these topics just so that somewhere there's a deposit in your mind, in your heart, about these situations or about these words or whatever you want to classify them as topics, just so that there's a deposit in your mind so that you start to think more about it. Like right now, I want you to think like, am I, have I been betrayed before? Am I being blind to betrayal? Am I doing that? That's what I want you to think. Like, I want you to think about it. I just want you to think about it. It's like I've been wanting to do this podcast. I actually have been doing it, but I wanted to actually like label it as a podcast. And so I did that, and I'm still working on it. It's still a work in progress. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. But I guess I should start by defining betrayal blindness. And I'm going to read exactly what the lady, who her name is Dr. Jennifer Freud, and she's actually one of the experts when it comes to betrayal blindness. and I am going to read. I'm going to read her actually what she says. It says betrayal blindness is not allowing yourself to see what is going on, to connect the dots, or to fully engage with reality. Because if you did, the information would threaten your relationship with the person who is most important to you. One more time. Dr. Jennifer Freud says betrayal blindness is not allowing yourself to see what is going on, to connect the dots, or to fully engage with reality. Because if you did, the information would threaten your relationship with the person who is most important to you. Now, I wanted to read that, right? Because, like, she's the go to, she's that person. Hi, Honestly Blue. She's that person for what, she's the reason why we even understand what betrayal blindness is. And I wanted to read that because sometimes I don't, like, even in myself, I was like, oh my God, I am being blind to betrayal. And it wasn't intentionally. It's like she said in her study, she said, you don't intentionally do it. You don't intentionally tell yourself, okay, I'm going to act like this doesn't exist. You really be trying to save, I want to say save face. You really be trying to give the person the benefit of the doubt, right? I was watching the Red Table Talks. They have some good table talks. They just had one with Jeanette McCurdy, the girl from iCarly. And she wrote a book, and she was like, the title of her book is "I'm Happy My Mom Died." Now, I'm not promoting the book. I'm just saying that's what the title of the book was. And so she was talking about it, and then they had the therapist come on, and then the lady was like, you were blindly, you were betrayed, but you were blind to it because it was your mother. And I started to think, like, oh my God, how many times do our family members, how many times do people that are really close to us betray us, but because they are our family members or our mothers or our grandmothers or whoever they are, do we just be like, oh, well, that's just them? Like, how many times have you just said, that's just them? Your mother cussed you out, or your father cussed you out, or they steal from you, or they do something really, like, had it been anybody else, you would be like, fuck you, I'm done dealing with you. But because it's your family member, or because it's somebody that you hold near and dear, you give them a second chance. You give them the benefit of the doubt. That is considered betrayal blindness. You know you've been betrayed, but you just don't want to, like I say here often, like, your parents treated you like shit. Maybe your father wasn't there. Maybe your mother wasn't there. Because sometimes we don't talk about the mother not being there, because, it's like they say the likelihood of that. But maybe your mother wasn't there, right? Maybe they gave you some lame ass excuse. You consider it lame ass, or maybe it's a lame ass excuse why they wasn't there. And to you, you feel betrayal, but because that's your mother, that's your father, you're still going to be like, that's my mother though, that's my father. And then you don't realize how, like, you're affecting yourself until you get older, and then you start getting into relationships, get into situationships. And one day maybe you'll go to therapy, or maybe you're here watching this podcast right now and you'll be like, wait a minute, I do, I that's what it is. I knew it was something. I didn't have a word for it, but that's what it is. Betrayal blindness. Your mother, um, you might say, you talk about molestation, you talk about um healing and self-discovery, you talk about all the things a lot, because I feel like no one talks about those things. So when I say molestation, that's something that I really, if you're stick around, I'm really going to talk about all the taboo topics that we talk about amongst each other, but we never will say them out loud. We won't say them out loud. We'll say them out loud to each other, but, like, to actually do something, to actually invoke change in a situation, we won't do it. Like, think about this, right? This is why I said that. Think about families, right? There is someone in your family who touches other people involuntarily. We'll just name it like that, right? Now, the parent of that person knows, they know that that person is doing it. You, let's say it's your Uncle Pete. That's my go-to person. Uncle Pete, if your name is Pete, I'm so sorry. So your Uncle Pete has touched his siblings and he's touching cousins, and people be knowing that that shit be happening in families, right? Somehow they seem to turn a blind eye to it happening. Especially like if like say it's okay, it's this generation. Let's say we got the 60s right here. We just put the numbers out there hypothetically. Say we got the 60s, right? Then we got the 70s come, right? And now Uncle Pete didn't just touch the people in the 60s. He's starting to touch people in the 70s, right? And so you're telling your mom, like, maybe you're in the 70s. You go tell your mom, you say, hey, Uncle Pete is touching me in places that, you know, he's not supposed to be touching me. And your mom couldn't fathom Uncle Pete doing something like that. So she like, are you sure? At first it's like, are you sure? You know, it's like harmless questions. I say they're harmless, but they, you know, they kind of are harm. Anyways, so they're just like, cause they can't believe that something like that will happen. And then there's the whole, let's go talk to them. So then you go and you talk to Uncle Pete, and then of course your grandma and grandpa are gonna be there if you know if they're around. So they're gonna be there, and they're like, no, he would never do anything like that. Or they'll be like, yeah, he used to do stuff like that in the '60s, but he ain't doing that kind of stuff right now in the '70s. And then you know sometimes Uncle Pete's be having kids, and so their kids be doing the same thing that they. Hey, we could talk about this all day, but it's the part I want to talk about is the blind betrayal. Like the family knows that it is happening. They know. Everybody knows. From the matriarchs or patriarchs of the family all the way down. Everybody knows that it's happening, but no one invokes change for it. So I'm talking about this today because I want, if you are experiencing something like this, I want you to find the courage within yourself. I want you to find the confidence. I want you to find the strength within yourself to take the blinders off and admit that the shit is what it is. Accept reality for what it is. Maybe your mother wasn't a great mother to you. Maybe she treated you like shit. Maybe she dog walked you. Maybe you feel like the black sheep of your family. That's your reality. And right now, I want you to walk in your reality. Because here's what it is, right? For 2 years, we have been battling everything from COVID to monkeypox to bird flu to Ebola, like everything possible. It's like they just went into the CDC. It was like, we gonna release this, everything, right? And if you haven't decided, I just take this moment right now. If you haven't decided that your life has been fucked up, your life has been horrible, maybe your life has been great. Let's just say your life has been great, right? It could be greater. We know ways that our lives could be greater, right? I I just this past weekend, since all of the wonderful things that have happened to me, I said to myself, I was allowing a lot of betrayal because I wanted to stay connected to certain people. Like, I know you're a fucked up individual, but because, we have a good time when we go to networking events, I wanted to stay connected to people. And then when things happened in my life and it was opportunities and it was like, you have to walk. You can't stay there. You have to walk. And I'm just sitting here like, I can't believe that happened. It happened, but in your mind, you'd be like, I can't, did it happen? Really happen? No, I can't. So then I had to make the decision, like, you cool and all, I appreciate, but I had to let that go. Y'all see at the top, it say journey to self. When I say journey to self, I mean, I want to be whole on the inside of me. I say I want to be light, love, and positivity. I want to radiate light, love, and positivity. I want to, when you actually love you, So many times in our life, we be thinking that people love us because they are family members. A large majority of them don't give a fuck about us. You can literally, you're watching me right now, you hearing me say that, and you know in yourself, they don't give a fuck about you. But then you still go and hang out, you still do everything because we're family. Family has definitely taken on a whole nother uh definition in these 2000s, in these last 22 years, in these 2000s, because right now families be doing all kinds of stuff. Seems like I'm talking a lot about families. Hey, maybe that's where I'm supposed to go. But a lot of betrayal happens in families. Like, let me ask you this. You ever had a light bill or a telephone bill or a cable bill in your name and you was a child? I have. I ain't even know nothing about no AT&T, but I had a phone bill in my name. Some people had light bills in their name, and some people, as they got older, everybody's on their credit now. Somebody trying to get their credit together, and they like, I never had. I was. Do y'all not look at the age when y'all be allowing people to get service? Like I was 3. How was I gonna have a light bill in my name and I was 3? That's the act of betrayal. Parents are just thinking like, oh, I just need to get my lights on, but then that's the act of betrayal because now you're older and you got to pay for something that you didn't even do. Like you either have to pay for it or you have to file a fraud case against the person who used your name, and more than likely it was your parents. So now you gotta there's that whole thing. Or say you did experience something traumatic and you are looking to your parents to like be your support system, be your love, like be that those warm arms that you could just feel like you are protected, and they didn't do that. And then you ever get into a situation that you're trying to make up things for the other person that's in the situation? Your mother fucked up, or they didn't come, or they didn't show up, or they didn't do something. And so now you're in your mind like, oh, well, they was busy. Maybe they worked late. Maybe they was tired. You creating all of these different things for them when in reality, they just didn't show up. But we tell ourselves these things to make ourselves feel good. And so I started telling myself, like, fuck that. It's a no. It's a no. I don't want to keep going on the cycle of I know you're fucking hurting me. I know this shit is fucking I know you're betraying me, but I'm gonna keep on like giving you the benefit of the doubt cuz this is what I figured out, right? When adults want to do something, adults are going to do it. If they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. They're not. You could say, "Hey, this is hurting me." And they could hear you. They could be all emotional. I didn't even know. And still at the same time do the same thing. So now when I be interacting with people or I go to different spaces, I don't only just listen to what people say, I watch what they do. I watch what they do. Because sometimes people have good intentions. Good intentions. I didn't mean to cheat, but they were just talking to me and we got into the conversation. I don't know why I just said that because sometimes I feel like people they just be cheating. They just be cheating because they just be cheating. And then you think about it, right? You get cheated on once and then it'd be like, I'm never going to do it again. I'm not going to do it again. And that was just a one-time thing. And I didn't mean it for it to happen. And then, for a little bit, everything be cool. Everything. Oh, they buying you stuff. Y'all going out to dinner. Y'all got date nights. All of that stuff. Right? And then one day you just happen to come across a post on social media or a text or something. And it just be like, I thought what happened? What happened? I thought you wasn't going to do it again. I thought that's where for me it's like I don't know. I feel like I just automatically just like give people the benefit of the doubt. Because sometimes I just don't think that people are innately, is that the word I'm trying to say? Evil. No, wait. Some people are evil. Some people are evil. Some people are. But I just personally don't think that everybody is evil. I literally don't think that people wake up and be like, yeah, I'm just going to go out here and ruin somebody's day today. I know it's possible. That could be me just I know it's possible, but in my mind I can't fathom just people just being evil like that. Like just I just I can't. You know what? I'm not going to say that I can't. I can. I just don't want to. There we go. Told y'all adults do what they want to do. But no, I'm my reality is I know that it's out there. I know. Trust me. Trust me, I know that it's out there. But I think about when you think about situations in your life and you be like, um, I'm gonna give them one more chance. I'm gonna give them one more chance. We're gonna try to make this work. And in the back of your mind, I don't know if this happens for you, but this happens for me. In the back of my mind, I already know, like I already feel like I am wasting my time. And I say I'm wasting my time because I know myself. Like you should know yourself. Like you're not gonna give it the same energy that you gave it before. Before you was all into it. I'm all into support. I'm all in. Then the betrayal happened. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna step back 10 feet from you, and I'm gonna see how it's gonna play out. And then if it's going in the way I think it should go, then I'm gonna hop in there. I'm gonna hop in there. But now life has a way of teaching you some shit. I used to be like, no, that person ain't doing that. Why would they do that? Me and them been rocking for a long time. Then you start to really think about it. Like, you ever, you ever go somewhere with somebody and then like they say some slick shit. Now, this this didn't happen to me, but I would most definitely. That's fraud. I'm not telling you to sue your mom or your parents or anything, but I'm saying that's technically fraud. Technically. Technically. I'm not I'm not here to I'm not a therapist. I did say that. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not a therapist. I'm just somebody just to get you thinking about stuff. It's okay to say your mama treated you like shit. It's okay to say your mama ain't shit. That's okay for you to say. I wouldn't encourage you to say it out loud because some people might not feel the same way you do. Like to some people, they probably be like, mama did the best that she could, but in reality, she could have did better. Who am I to say that she could have did better? They know that they could have did better. I'm gonna tell you how you know that parents know that they could do better. You ever go and talk to your mom or your parents or siblings or somebody about something that they did when you were younger? The first thing they're going to try to do is be like, that's not what happened. They're going to try to convince you that that's not what happened. And then they're going to be filled with so much guilt. And then there's going to be shame. And then they're going to like try to like, cry, get all emotional and try to get you to feel sorry. But the reality of it is no, this is what happened to me. Let's resolve it. We don't have to keep going around the mulberry bush. Let's resolve it. You did some fucked up shit. I felt that it was fucked up. I'm telling you that it was fucked up. Just own that it was fucked up. People, they're not going to do that. Parents, they don't want to do that. Because the first thing they'll say is, you were saying that I was a bad parent. I did the best that I could. I didn't say that. We're not saying that you're bad parents. That's not what we're saying. We are saying some real shit happened. And here's some real shit that we need to address and we need to talk about. What were you thinking at that time? What were you thinking that I needed at that time? Where were we? Like, what happened? We just we so often discount things to, oh, that's just my mother, or that's just the way my family is, or that's just the way. We got to stop betraying ourselves to give other people the benefit of the doubt. Every time somebody want to go to, hey, we about to turn up, girl, let's go to the liquor store. And then you go into the liquor store and you realizing people don't never bring the money out their purse or their pockets. You always bringing the drinks. You probably think like, yeah, I'm real popular. Everybody want to hang out with me. Everybody want to. But the reality of it is you are the life of the party. You literally are the life of the party because you bringing the party with you. You got everything that it needs to be a party. They're not really inviting you because they really want you to come. They know you're gonna bring the stuff. That's a form of betrayal. Your friends, they don't, they're not, they know, hey, y'all need some liquor? Hey, call so and so because so and so gonna always make sure we got it. I'm telling you, yes, I'm telling you, you should look at your. I said this a couple of weeks ago. I said, have you ever thought, have you ever thought why you're friends with the people that you are friends with? Like, give a real in depth, like, let me look at our friendship. Like, why are we friends? What happened that we became friends? I started to think about people that I was friends with. Like, I don't look at friends the same way most people look at friends. Cause like technically, I have like people that I call my sisters. No, let's clarify. They're not my sisters. I do not have any sisters. I had a sister. She passed away. She was 2 years older than me. She passed away. But I call these people my sisters because I feel like we have grown through everything imaginable and we are grown. We have grown through those things. And for me, it's not, oh, you my friend. No, like these are my sisters. Like we done been through some stuff I can't even disclose because that's their business and I'm not disclosing it. But we done been through that kind of sister stuff. If you have a sister, you probably know what I'm saying. I don't have a sister. So these people, they're my sisters. I have brothers, people that grew up in my house that I call my brothers because they are literally like my brothers. They will protect me to the ends of the earth and beyond. And that's why for me, it's like I'm the oldest. So for like me, it's like, well, one of my sisters, a couple of my sisters are older than me. That's kind of makes me feel. It makes you see the smile. Got an older sister, anyways. But for me, I will do whatever it takes to make sure the people underneath me. What do you mean underneath the people? I'm 42, so 41 and below, 42, 41 and below don't have to experience any of the, I want to say any. I don't want them to experience any of the traumas that I've experienced. Any of them. In any because what I realized that as a woman in the black community, healing isn't something that's talked about unless you know you get hurt or something, you fall off your bike or car accident or something. Then it's like, oh, you need to take time to heal. But healing definitely needs. There's like an emotional healing conference that needs to have that we need to have with ourselves. Like there should be one like, hey, let's just do a big meditation healing seminar or something. Like here's how you heal. Like that should happen in our communities, but it's not because we are taught things like if you're a man, men don't cry. What the fuck you mean men don't cry? They do cry. And if you ever paid attention to how it's like indirectly transferred to the generations that men don't cry, men have to be strong. I'm not saying that you have to be weak. What I'm saying is if you feel like you need to cry, cry. I remember when I was growing up, they used to be like, don't ever let anybody see you cry. Don't ever let them see you sweat. And so I'm walking around here with like elephants on my fucking chest and on my shoulders. And I just putting a smile on. I got a smile. Can't let you see me sweat. And I was dying on the inside. Dying. Real life dying. carrying shit that I had no business of carrying around because I didn't feel like I could trust anybody with it. You probably walking around here holding shit in and you want to tell somebody, you just don't know. Like I hear a lot of people, I be talking about therapy all the time. Therapy. I talk about therapy all the time, and people be like, therapy isn't the end all be all. It probably isn't. But I'm gonna say therapy because then it's gonna get your mind. It's gonna get you to thinking like I need an alternative. I need somebody that I could trust, somebody that don't know me, because that be some of the. I'm gonna tell y'all some of the things that people say when I be telling them about therapy. They say I need to go to somebody black. If they're black, they say I need to go to somebody black who understands the black experience. I get that, and then they say I need to go to somebody who don't know me. Okay. And then most people go to therapy. They'll go to one session of therapy, like, oh, it ain't gonna work for me. And you know why it don't work for a lot of people? I'm gonna tell you why. Because we don't like to have people tell us what to do. Think about this, right? When you were younger, everybody was bossing you around, telling you what you can and cannot do, where you should go, how you should eat, when you should eat, all of that stuff, right? And then in your mind, you're like, oh, I can't wait till I get an adult because ain't nobody gonna tell me shit. And then you get an adult, and then you stand on that. Ain't nobody gonna tell you shit. So then you go to therapy, and they're like, you need to release. You need to let that go. And here's another thing, right? Betrayal can happen from ourselves. Like we could betray our own self. Like when I found out, like as I was going through my life, right? I realized like a lot of things that I did was because looking for, um, I was looking for love. Like I was real life looking for love. Like you probably like, oh, they just out. I was real life looking for love. So any little thing that somebody like if I gave someone something and I was like, ooh, they love me. They love me. And I went to therapy and all that shit was like, oh, that's what that is. Hi, Jamela. Oh, oh, that's what that is. I don't really like doing it. You don't really be liking it. You just like the feeling that it like. Let's go back to people that cheat. Like you don't really. I want to say you don't really want to cheat, but we know where I'm going. But you like the thrill of what happened. You like the thrill of it. And some people only apologize. They be like, oh, some people only apologize because they got caught. They like the thrill of it. They like the thrill of, oh, we can possibly get caught. And if I do get caught, I'll just be like, hey, that was just a one time. It didn't mean anything. And then us who be thinking like, oh, okay, that was just a one time. It didn't mean anything. Especially in this social media. Ooh, social media changed the game for a lot of things. A lot of things. People be betraying people in public display and have no shame about it. I I remember when I was coming up, like I consider myself a private person. I tell y'all everything anyways, but I consider myself a private person. Some things I just hold near and dear to my heart. And like when the situations was going when I was going to different surgeries or hospital visits and all the other stuff that was happening, I told y'all already, but I didn't even tell I told my core people, I told my core community people, but I didn't tell anyone else. I didn't go on Facebook and tell them. I didn't go on Insta. I didn't tell anybody. I told y'all. That was it. I told y'all. I thought about going to tell Facebook, but I was like, I don't know. There's a weird dynamic between me and Facebook. It's been that way for a minute, but I told y'all, like, I really feel like we have some kind of connection. That's what I feel like. I thought about when all of that stuff kicked off back in December. I was like, it would be easy for me to be like, oh, yeah, no, that didn't really happen, but it actually happened. It played out in real, like when I say live, like I'm live right now, it played out live. I wasn't there for it. I didn't pay attention to it. I wasn't there for it, but it happened. And the fallout from it was significant. But I had to open my eyes to be like, if it could happen to anybody else, if it could happen to anybody else, because in my mind I was like, I hope that never happens to me. But if it happens to anybody else, if I can witness it happen to somebody else, it will happen to me. That was that blindness. Like, oh no, that won't happen to me because, you know, but it happened. Changed the dynamics of everything I do right now to this day in my life. Am I going to shy away from YouTube? Fuck no. It's going to make me go harder. It's going to make me go harder. It's going to make me go harder. But I want to say this to you, right? If you are watching this, if you are listening to this, you probably just got me on in the car or wherever you are. I want you to acknowledge the betrayal that you feel. If your mama told you she was going to do something and she didn't do it, acknowledge that. Acknowledge how you feel. Acknowledge everything that comes with that. If you told an adult and they didn't protect you, acknowledge how that feels. Acknowledge that. Now, don't stay there and just be like, oh, woe is me. No, acknowledge that. And apply words to your feelings. This is how I felt because you did this, or you said this, and this is what. Acknowledge that. And I'm telling you this because as a person, as I said, I'm only telling you for two reasons: to let you know that you can overcome and that you are not alone. Because I'm 42 and I don't know what age you are, but I don't want you to wait until you get to 42 and be like, okay, let me go and go on this journey of healing and self-discovery. You can start right now where you are. And by the time you get to 42, shit, your life could be like different. I literally just told my brother this earlier. I said, listen, I am your only sister. Only sister. I am your only sister, and I am the oldest, and it is my job. I took on this job. It is my job to make sure that you are the best father, brother, son, business owner, music creative that you can be. Because, you know, most people would be like, well, I didn't have anybody to tell me, or I didn't have the resources, or I didn't have this. And I say this every time. I don't care if I'm doing YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, whatever I'm doing. I'm going to make sure I say this. If you have an idea in your head that you want to accomplish, but you don't know where to start or how to go, talk to the people around you. Now, maybe you're talking to the people around you and they be like, why you want to do that? You don't need to do that. Find someone who is doing what you do and ask questions. When I first started streaming on Twitch, I didn't have a clue I didn't have a clue. I just woke up and was like, I'm about to do a 40-hour live stream. I watched a bunch of people doing their live streams. I asked them, what kind of camera do you have? Where did you set your camera? How did you do the settings? How did you see this right here? All this that I'm presenting to you right now, I asked questions on how to get here. And then I tested it out. Try. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Try it again. Ask. I'm making myself available as a resource. Whatever question you have, I might not have the answer for it. But what I will do is I will point you in the right direction to somebody that can help you. I hear all the time. This is what I be hearing from people all the time. Man, nobody gonna show me how to do it. Nobody gonna tell me. Nobody. Hi, my name is Chelle, also known as Chelle, also known as Midwsthumnbrd, also known as a lot of things. But I'm here. However, you want to have a nurturing conversation, we can have a conversation offline. My information is in the description box. I'm here. It's 2022. Like, we got to start helping each other. That's the only way we going to make it in this life, if we continue to help each other. Ain't no way I know that somebody is sad or depressed and I'm gonna be sitting right here texting them, I hope that God heals you from your depression. No, I'm gonna get in my fucking truck and drive over to where they are, and I'm gonna sit with them. It's the presence, being there with them. Because a lot of people, I don't know if y'all know, but a lot of people in this time right now feel alone. And then we're about to go into the holiday season. the holiday season. Y'all know that these are some of the most detrimental times in people's lives. And they just need to know that somebody, they will love to know that their mother or their father or brothers and sisters are there. They will love to know that. I'm here to tell you, I am here if you need someone. When you, fuck if, when you need someone, I am here. I'm available. I'm literally everywhere, so that in the event that somebody needs me and they can't reach me on my phone, you can literally hit me on any one of my social medias. I'm gonna share with y'all in this coming week. I have a Discord. If you don't know what Discord is, don't worry. I'm gonna do a whole video. I'm gonna tell you all about that. I am accessible. I'm not that accessible, but I'm accessible. You see what I'm saying? There's still there's levels of security and safety, all because we are living in some crazy time. But you can definitely send me a message. I definitely respond to messages, emails, every DMs, everything. I'm a share my video about 8:30. I'm gonna share a video of some of the most amazing news I've had this year. Sorry, y'all. Every time I think about it, I can't stop smiling. But yeah, I really feel like if more people talked, if more people shared their spot, it's nothing for me to come here and share my story. This is because I did a video. Somebody has to the other day. I did a video and I was like, somebody has to be the person to be like, listen, I know everybody walking around here. I'm not the only one that's been molested. I know it's a lot of people out here that's been molested, but they're not going to talk about it, because if they talk about it, then they have to acknowledge, they have to accept and acknowledge that it happened. Then they have to deal with everything that has happened since then. And a lot of people aren't ready to make that step yet. I get it. I totally get it. You probably sitting at home like, she talking about blind betrayal. I know my mama did treat me like shit, but I can't say that about my mama. Yes, you can. Yes, you mentioned. Who the fuck are you to give me permission? I am someone that somebody in your life should allow you that permission. I'm not telling you to be disrespectful to your parents, but what I am telling you is to acknowledge the betrayal. I am telling you to acknowledge, like, parents do fucked up shit. They do. That's a reality. We all know that. And sometimes if we don't understand, I feel like the best person to go to is your mother or your father. Again, because in my mind, maybe that's not the reality, but in my mind, everything that you learn before you go out those doors, you learn from your household. You learn how to be a great person. You learn love. You learn how to talk, to communicate to people in your household. So in my mind, I was like, it's so many people out here that don't know how to have a dialogue, a conversation. And I started to think, you know what? You start talking to them, and it's like they don't have that at home. They don't have their parents asking them, how was their day? What was your week like? How was school? They don't have anybody asking them that. Like, think about it. When was the last time you asked your significant other, your child, or somebody in your family how they were doing? We just see people, hey, and go on about the business, be posting on social media or whatever. But when was the last time you really checked in with people? I'd be mindful to do that. I'd be mindful to do that, especially because I understand the times that we are in. We are literally surviving a global fucking pandemic, monkeypox, Ebola, bird flu, the norovirus, polio. We surviving shit. Hey Trish, we surviving shit that like is really traumatic. Y'all remember we were in a house and we could not come outside? We couldn't come outside. Like, some people was outside. They said Atlanta was just lit. You watch YouTube videos and people was like, we didn't even know that we was under quarantine. It was lit. But y'all remember we couldn't go outside? Do y'all remember, like, you remember seeing the kids that, like, school was their only escape? Like, my mind be thinking about these, like, our real life be going through these things. Like, what about those kids that go to school to get those lunches because they don't have food at home? Like, what about those people that escape, that go to work or that go to school or go outside of their house to get a break from what happens in their house? Then now I'm starting to think about, like, who's going to who's going to help these people who's been locked in for 2 years and have all of these like anxieties and insecurities and all of these things come up. Who's going to show them how to, who's going to show a man that, or a woman too, because they be abusive too, who's going to show them you don't have to use your hands, use your words? Like, who's going to tell them that? Because for years we've been telling men you have to be hard, you got to be strong, you got to be tough. Who's going to say it's okay for you to cry? It's okay for you to acknowledge that your feelings are hurt. It's okay for you to do that. I did when I first, we coming up on 2 years, 2 years, when I first experienced heartbreak. Right here, y'all was with me when I first experienced heartbreak. Um, I said it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to stay there. And then I kept hearing, like, hurt people. And I kept saying, no, in reality, hurt people don't hurt people. If you know what it feels like to be cheated on, why would you go and cheat on someone? If you know what it feels like to be, to get a whooping as a child, right? I was talking to someone, I was like, I don't discipline, I discipline verbally my nieces and nephews. I would tell them, like, I would let them know what they did, and I would let them know how I feel, how what they did made me feel, and then I'll ask them, what were they thinking, how were they feeling. I have communication. That's big with me. Being open, being able to communicate. In my mind, I cannot comprehend the concept of, I told you to do something, or I told you to whatever, and you didn't do it, so now you're going to be, because in my mind, that, for me, that fosters in, okay, because I didn't do something, now I'm supposed to get punished. I know if you're a parent, you're watching this, like, no, because sometimes they need to be, but in my mind, sometimes they just need to be talked to and held and hugged. Because, a lot of people be like, oh, they just acting out because that's because they didn't get that. A lot of people are starved for, like, hugs and kisses, and told that you did a good job, or told that that was a good accomplishment, or pat on the back, and all of that. Some people need to be told, like, hey, you don't have to take out your frustrations on the people that didn't make you frustrated. Maybe just go take a walk. Maybe just breathe. Maybe just meditate for a minute and think about it. And then when you calm down, then have a conversation. Because this is why I say I don't whoop, because I put the correlation together. Many times when people are disciplining their, we talking about disciplining their children, they aren't happy. They aren't like, ha, you, I'm just going to whoop you, because no, they're not happy. They're either irritated, frustrated, or angry. And when you're in those states, you can't make the conscious, you can't consciously be aware of what's going on. I'm not a mental health professional, but in my mind, I've seen a bunch of people be angry or frustrated or irritated and just pop off, and then they have to come back around after they calm down and everything is going on. Then they apologize, or they feel some kind of way. And so for me, it's like, when you're whooping your child, you're not in the mind like, this is a child. Like, I could have told them, or I could have showed them a better way. So, and for me, it's like, I will do that. I don't have kids, but I will teach and show and provide alternatives rather than applying physical abuse. I love the way that I just put that in. I'm glad I said it here, because it's going to be saved, and I could, but yeah, if you are a parent, or if you are someone, you are auntie, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, think about it. When you get ready to whoop a child or discipline a child, what state are you in? Like, where are you? Are you fed up? Like, I've been telling you for 15 times. I told you, some people don't even give them. I told you one time and you didn't move. So now you're going to get a whooping. I remember I got a whooping one time in my 42 years of living. One time. Then I never got a whooping again after that. I was always like, you don't have to whoop me. You could just tell me what I did. Swift. You don't have to do that to me. You don't have to whoop me, discipline me. You don't have to apply physical pressure to me. People be like, I got a whooping and that helped me stay out of jail. I could see how you could put those two together. But the reality of it is there was more fear. Like, when most people think about their parents, like you ever see a video and there's like a white child yelling at their mom and you're like, oh, ain't no way in hell I will ever do that to my mom. There's this thing that is like, it's fear. I'm going to say I don't think that people know the difference between that two, because when you're afraid of somebody, like you don't want to really talk to them, you don't want to really be around them, you walk on eggshells because you know anything could set them off. For me, I don't want people to be around me like that. I want you to have a good time. I want you to be able to feel comfortable to talk to me about anything that you need to talk to me about. Some of my parents, like, it's just a holiday and you probably was like, I really don't want to go over here. I'm tired. I want to just be here with my own little family. Let's just do it for us. But then you're like, no, because they going to feel like I'm acting funny, or they going to feel like, in reality, you're not acting funny. You just protecting yourself. I think a lot of times we don't think about ourselves because we were so inclined to think about everybody else. Put everybody's needs in the front of our own. I know I was. And I know since January, I was like, I'm not saying like fuck everybody else. It's not really what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. I'm saying fuck everybody else. Right now, I'm focusing on me. What makes me happy? I'm setting boundaries. You can set boundaries too. You can set boundaries with your parents, with your siblings. Look at it like this, right? If you decide that your parents weren't, they were called you out your name all the time, disrespected you, put you down, made you feel like you weren't shit, didn't encourage you, you can set a boundary there. If you don't go to your mama's house for Mother's Day or Thanksgiving or Christmas and you decide to go here or do your own little thing, they will still be your mother and father. Even if they disown you, guess what? They will still be your mother and father. Still. Disown you and all. They'll still be your mother and father. Maybe you don't talk to your brother and sister because they did some fucked up things. Guess what? They will still be your brother and sister by blood because your mother birthed you. They will still be your brothers and sisters. But the reality of it is you're thinking about yourself. You have to do what, call a spade a spade. Call it for what it is. And you're probably like, I cannot go by my mama's house. I cannot wish them. Yes, you can. Someone should tell you that. Somebody should have been told us you don't have to be around these people. Somebody should have been told us that, but they're not going to tell us that because why? They'll be like, blood is thicker than water. That's your mama. That's your brother. That's your uncle. That's your auntie. That's your grandma. Right. And me making the decision to set up boundaries with those people is not going to change our relationship. I mean, well, it will change the relationship, but it's not going to change our blood because we are still going to be related. We're still going to be related. We just got to stop turning a blind eye to shit that we know is actually happening. You know it's happening. I know it's happening. We know it's happening. We just got to stop turning. I ain't going to say an eye. If you know, you feel in your heart that shit is happening, it's happening. It's happening. Do something about it. I think that was one of my positive affirmations this week too. Do something about it. This is one too. Don't complain about something if you're not gonna do nothing about it. I was like, man, I wish more people talked. And so I came here. It's like, let's have a nurturing conversation. Just talk about it. Some people come and talk, some people don't. Never say anything during the podcast, but send me a message or they'll reach out and it's just like, I'm just here, so it's a safe space. It's a safe space. Whatever you want to talk about, you can come here. We can talk about it. Because I'm going to talk about it. If y'all haven't figured it out, I'm going to talk about it. It might not be in a manner you want to hear about it, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to talk about it. And all while I'm talking, before I even came on, I'm like, I hope that something I say sticks. I hope that something I say inspires, encourage, provokes change. I hope. I hope that's what's happening. I can see that my internet is going crazy right now. That's why I be having it up. Yeah, my YouTube is going crazy, but it's raining. It's go ahead. I was only gonna do an hour anyways. I'm gonna just go ahead. Tonight we were talking about betrayal blindness. Um, I hope that the topic in and of itself makes you intrigued enough to go even look it up. I hope that the words that I said about you can um, place boundaries with your family, mother, father, sister, brother, grandmother, auntie, uncle, cousin. You can place boundaries with them, and while it may change the dynamics of your relationship, you have to think about yourself right now. You have to. You are the most important part of this whole entire puzzle. Whoa. The world needs you to be who you are. You can't be who you are if you're trying to please everybody else. If you're trying to make your mother's, the thing I definitely want to make sure. Thank you. Um, maybe you don't want to have kids, right? Maybe your mom's like, oh, I want to be a grandma. I want to be a grandpa. Like there are people. You probably like, no, there are people out here who want to do. When you gonna give us some kids? There are people like that. You don't have to feel pressured to have kids. You don't have to feel pressured to be straight, be gay. You don't have to be pressured to do anything. You could do whatever it is that you want to do. But most importantly, you should always want to live your truth. Your truth, not what other people want your truth to be, but your truth. If you are gay, be gay. Don't marry a woman, don't marry a man, don't have babies, don't do all of that because you are going to create a web of trauma, a web of hurt, a web of everything imaginable. You are going to create that. Don't do it. Just follow your first instinct and be like, okay, easy to come out the closet, but you survived a bunch of shit in the last 2 years. Don't you want to be happy? Don't you want to live your life with the person that you love in the open? I mean, of course you do. It's social media. You want to post all over everything. You should do that. You should be true to yourself. If you are in a relationship right now, you know that you are not happy. You're just there because this person is giving you whatever it is, but you're not happy. Leave. Chelle, did you just tell those people to leave their relationship? I did. Leave because you are only causing yourself more harm. And in the end, the likelihood they go and cheat and then now they have a freedom or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a cheater, but I've been cheated on. Don't do it. Let it go. If you're unhappy, look at the person you're with and be like, listen, I enjoyed the time. You don't have to say exactly what I'm saying, but you know what you could say. I enjoyed our time together. I'm just not happy. I need to go and find happiness. You, of course, not gonna find happiness out there because happiness starts up in here. But we gotta go our separate ways. And 9 times out of 10, the people will respect you more rather than just be out here cheating or doing whatever you're doing. Have the conversation. If you feel like your parents treated you like shit, have the conversation. I'm gonna tell you now, parents, that's a little touchy feely because they be like, you trying to say I'm a bad parent? No, I'm just saying, here's what I experienced. Here's how I am dealing with what I experienced. I'm trying to move forward, and this is what I need in order to do that. And then once you say that, sometimes you never get an apology. You may never get an apology. But once you release that from you, you have done everything that you need to do. Now it is time for you to continue walking forward. Continue walking forward. At the end of the day, you have to have you. Period. You, sorry, I don't know. Something just told me to look up. You have to have you, period. Take the blinders off. You know, your friend always throwing, always trying to sneak this, when they get in front of people to show, you know what it is. It's time. It's time. The relationship has run its course. We just don't like to let things go. We don't like, I'm not going to say we don't like change. We just don't like when shit changes. You've been my friend for 20 years. I don't like the fact that, we can't be friends anymore. But sometimes people outgrow people. That's part of life. You outgrow people. Sometimes we still be holding on to people because, yeah, I remember when we was 12, when we was 16, now y'all in y'all 40s, late 30s, early 40s. When we was, y'all grown. Y'all probably got separate ways, got married, got a career, got you're traveling, you're doing all those things. You outgrow people. It's okay to outgrow people. Take the blinders off. Acknowledge it, accept it, and change it. You go to your family picnic, and picnic or gathering, every time you have this whole little thing before you go, man, I don't want to go over here, but I know they're going to think I'm acting funny. You go through this whole little thing before you go, and then you go over there, and as soon as you go in there, what do you say? Damn, I should have followed my first mind and stayed at home because somebody done got drunk and now they fighting, or you know how family gatherings be going. And then you be like, damn, I'm going to stay at home. Now, the next time come around, you don't think about the last time because you're just like, I don't want them to feel like, fuck what they feel. Think about yourself. Think about yourself. They know where you live. They know how to get in touch with you. They know all of that shit. Think about yourself. Especially if you are a parent with kids and you're taking your child to the fucking family events and you know what Uncle Pete been doing. Don't do that. Don't put your kids in that environment. Think about it. Think about it. Don't put your kids in that environment. We don't be thinking about shit like that because we be like, oh, I got to go to work. I got to need a babysitter. I got to do all that. If we start paying more attention to the human side of everybody, we start paying more attention to that. If you look at your child and be like, damn, you know what? I remember when I was growing up and I was like, my mother used to do this and I'm never going to do that to my child. We say that. We be like, oh, I'm not going to. I hear men say it all the time, man, if I have a little shorty, I'm going to make sure. And they be having like 10, 11 shorties and don't be. It's like, stop talking and start doing. Start putting actions behind your words. Let's start doing that. I just had to get that off my chest. Stop saying you're going to do shit and just start doing it. It's 2022. Like, if you ain't realized, like, you literally can do whatever the fuck you want to. Literally. I bet y'all didn't think that OnlyFans people was gonna be making $20,000 a month off, or no, $20 million a month off of OnlyFans. No, people didn't think that, cause those people sitting outside on the corner only getting $40. Times are changing. It's okay. It's okay if you know that your family is toxic and they're negative and they've been like that your entire life. Don't introduce that to your kids. It's okay. You the seer, so you see who's good and who's not. We know that. We know our stomachs. Maybe we don't. Maybe you don't. I know. Like my first mind, my stomach, my body, everything. I listen to every fucking thing. You ever been driving and you notice we start following our first minds, we probably be in a lot less situations. That's all I got though. I'm supposed to go take my mom. We're going to go to a late dinner. She said, I can go after your broadcast. She don't call it a podcast. She said, I'm going to go after you. We could go after your broadcast. And I'm like, okay, we can go to Denny's. I'm not getting chocolate pancakes though. We can go to Denny's. I need something warm. I've been wanting chili. So I was like, hey, can we get chili this week? She's like, yeah, we can get chili. Yes. My mom makes the best chili. Now, that's my opinion. Your mom might probably make the best chili, but yeah, I just want us to take the blinders off. Shit that be happening and you probably be like, I can't believe this shit just happened. Believe it. It happened. I can't believe somebody just said, yes, they said it. Don't just sweep it under the rug like, man, I ain't gonna never let that happen again. Then it happened again. And be like, I ain't gonna never let it happen again. It No, follow your first mind. That's all I'm gonna say is follow your first mind. That's all I got. Remember that it is important for you to use your words. That is the only way that anyone will ever know what you are feeling and what you are thinking. I will never let a live video, vlog, short, podcast, anything that I present to you go without me telling you to love yourself, love your faults, your fears, and your failures. Now, we talk about, oh, you got to love yourself. We all love ourselves when we up here. When we got everything we need, we love ourselves. When we make a mistake, we want to beat ourselves up. We want to call ourselves, what we call ourselves. We want to just be real down on ourselves. No, you should love yourself through that too. I realized that it was my faults, fears, and failures that pushed me to be where I am right now, where I'm sitting and I'm talking to you on a Nurturing Conversation podcast. Next month, I'm gonna be here, but I'm gonna also have another component of this podcast. I'm telling you, I'm trial and error. That's where I'm going. I'm learning. That's about life. Like, think about it, right? You have I'm gonna wrap it up. Think about it. If you have a child, right, you see them while they're walking, right? They crawl, then they stand up and they walk. If they fall, they might sit there. They might think about it like, okay. Then they get back up again and they start walking. Next thing you know, they running. I know that was like, oh, those are babies, but adults, we need to do that too. If it don't work, step back, take what worked, what didn't work, try again. Try again. If you are free tonight at 11, join me on my TikTok. I want to take this moment right now. I'm going to start doing this at the beginning of my videos, but I'm going to take this moment right now to say thank you to everyone who came over last night for Saturday Night Vibes. Thank you to Honestly Blue and Lovely for singing, for actually participating. It was really lit last night. It's only going to get better from there. Thank you to everybody who followed me from YouTube over to TikTok last night. I appreciate you. Listen, I appreciate all of the love and support that y'all have continuously showed me. You don't have to, but you are here, and I will forever be grateful for that. I have a video coming up at 8:30. It's sharing some good news. There's so much good news that's been happening, but I can't share it all right now. Y'all know I'm gonna share it, but I can't share it right now. But that which I can share, I will share. Um, I'm telling you, life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. Don't forget to get your toiletries, non-perishable food items, disinfectant, water. Of course, if you pay attention to history, not only that, you should want to make sure that you and your family are okay, that y'all have food, y'all have a way to light your house if, your lights go off, or water in an event. I couldn't imagine. My prayers goes out to the people in Mississippi and still Flint and Mississippi who don't have drinking water. Don't have it. Like, they go and there's brown stuff coming out of there. My prayers are with them. My prayers are with you. Check on your people. I don't mean just send them a text and be like, ha ha, hope everything's no. Check on your people. FaceTime them. If you want to check on me, send me a video. FaceTime me. I enjoy, call me. I enjoy those things. Pop up on, no, don't pop up on me. Call me before you pop up on me. How about we do that? Call me before you pop up on me. But yeah, just check on your people, y'all. We all are in this together. We all are. We all, listen, I'm going to say this. I don't know why cheating has been a thing of tonight, but listen, monkeypox is real. COVID is real. STDs are real. AIDS is real. If you are in a relationship and you are in 2022 deciding to step out of your relationship to cheat on the person that you are with, I'm going to say there is something not altogether well with you. There isn't. After all those things I just named, and you will still take the risk of doing that. Don't do that. It's 2022. Don't just think about yourself. Think about those around you. Think about the person you're with. Think about your family, your kids. Think about how that affects them. That's what we should tell more people, to start think about think about how what you do affects other people. Cheating affects not just you, it affects the person you're with and everyone. Because if the relationship ends, the people that build relationships with you have to now dissolve their relationships with you. Don't do that. It's a trickle effect. It's a web full of trauma. Don't do it. Anyways, y'all know what time it is. If you don't know what time it is, I suggest you watch The Finger Sweetie because they will tell you. Until next time, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Go ahead and hit the like button. I probably should start doing it at the beginning of it, but hey, that's all I got. Until next time, I love you. Peace.